This is how we traveled to 5 European countries over 16 days to make 32 videos. Welcome to the Euro Video Marathon. It all started with a crew of 5 and an overnight flight to Amsterdam on business class. That's where the pampering stopped. The moment we landed, we had to find our 12 bags of gear. Did I mention that Austin Airport refused to check our 2 largest gear cases for being overweight, and we had to run home and get backpacks to shove camera gear in 5 minutes before the airline stopped checking bags? Well, they did. Once we had our gear, we piled in our BMW and our Audi hatchbacks and drove 2 hours to Antwerp, Belgium, stopping only for fresh strawberries, and then immediately started filming at the first factory. This was for B-roll, for a technology video, and a factory tour. We ate Belgian treats and filmed until it was dark after a 12-hour flight with little sleep, and spent the night at a beautiful boutique hotel. Day 3, we started the morning with real espresso, then filmed at a manufacturing partner for B-roll and interviews. The afternoon, we started filming interviews at a local school that predated World War I. The part we filmed was brand new for an architectural documentary, but it's still a cool fact. Did I mention I ate so many Belgian waffles and chocolate? Day 4, we finished up at the school, then hopped in our hatchbacks to the next country, France. We drove 4.5 hours to a town just south of Paris called Bois-le-Roi. It's near the Chateau de Fontainebleau, former home of Napoleon. Do you know how absolutely breathtaking it is? Neither do we. We were there to film an architectural documentary, and there was no time for chateaus. On day 5, we got to work filming interviews, B-roll, and stuffing our face with pain au chocolat, aka chocolate croissants. With the help of our local drone pilot, we finished early on day 6 and decided to speedrun Paris. We walked by and pointed and took photos of miles of tourist attractions in the city center, then grabbed some snails for dinner and prep for our next travel day. Day 7, flights were especially fun because our perfectly packed gear bags were ruined by our weight restraints, and so it was a lot of guesswork and rearranging at the airport. We flew to Berlin on a flight with no free coffee to film the largest and most historic airport in Europe, Tempelhof. We landed that afternoon, hopped in our cumbersome passenger van, and then grabbed some dinner in our sweet East Berlin hotel. The hotel was next to the Berlin Wall, which was a powerful sight to experience. Now it's day 8, we only had 2 days to film a short documentary about an airport that's almost a mile long. So of course, we started with a 3-hour tour that we weren't allowed to film. I love learning the history of Tempelhof though. Did you know it's known as the mother of all airports and was the epicenter of Hitler's world conquest plans? After World War II, it was used for the Berlin airlift to deliver thousands of pounds of food and supplies to West Berlin. On day 9, we worked with another talented local drone pilot to capture shots of the new observation deck and enjoyed a lot of beer and bratwurst. After 20,000 steps a day, we even got in a midnight laundry run. It was just what we needed to pack up and get ready to leave for our next country, Norway. Day 10 was another day of figuring out which line we needed to stand in, why our carry-ons weren't allowed, and how much a kilo is in pounds. Our economy flight was taking us to Oslo, Norway. We had another architectural documentary, factory tour, interviews, and installation videos to film. Our flight landed at 10 p.m. local time, so we stayed near the airport, then headed out in 2 modestly sized rental cars the next day. I'm not gonna lie, nothing beats southern Norway in the summertime. The weather is amazing. On day 11, we traveled 2 hours to Skien to film another factory tour and capture interviews for the technology video. Day 12 was spent getting really cool shots of the plant process and capturing 4 decks built in 3 hours for installation videos. Norway isn't known for its smorgasbords, but we had a food truck park across from our hotel with trucks coming from all over Europe. Speaking of food, on day 13 we drove another 3.5 hours to the southernmost tip of Norway and home of the coolest restaurant in the world, Under. We weren't there to eat, of course. We were in Lindesnes to film our last architectural documentary of a cabin with a priceless view. Day 14, we interviewed the architect/homeowner, and they made us delicious homemade pizzas. Since the sun didn't go down until midnight, we had 5+ hours of golden hour. Plenty of time for gorgeous B-roll and business talks with our contract lawyers back in the States. It was a great end to our filming days. Day 15, we got to rest. Just kidding. We packed up for the last time and drove 5.5 hours back to Oslo to catch a flight to Belgium for a debrief meeting with the client. On day 16, we caught our business class flight out of Brussels and back to Austin, where the real fun began, post-production. To date, we've edited 32+ videos from that footage, with more that can be created as needed, and this work has been featured in Arkello, Design Milk, Dwell, and more. That's the advantage of documentary-style filmmaking. Reach out if you want to learn more.